good points regarding my video about Minnesota, the adoption, and yeah. So, but that took me down a rabbit hole. It's likely why we have this open border for all this time, and interestingly enough, organ transplants have increased over the last several years. I mean, it makes sense why they would. We have an open border. That's a lot of recipients. Can they tie it? I'm sure there's somebody at some point that will. It explains why Hollywood always adopts international children. I mean, do they just use those children to one day when they need to organ their organs for themselves? Rockefeller had 3 heart transplants. But it's not, I mean, for the increase in the amount of recipients to go up so that all the hospitals across the country could, the university hospitals do all their increase in transplants, it only makes sense that the only way that would be really happening to the drastic amounts of increase that they have of organs, that it's because we have an open border, unfortunately. It's very sad to have to realize that we're no different than China. Like we're China. We're China as far as a surveillance state. We're China because we let people adopt children that don't have any good intentions, are likely just using those children, exploiting them, or hanging on to them so that one day if they need an organ, they just... So I just posted a video. It won't get seen, so people have to go under my menu to see it because they'll just shadow ban it. But it makes sense then why the hospitals are so blatantly and obvious about money, and why they're only focused practically on organ transplants, because that's a lot of money. And Biden and Harris overhauled the whole organ transplant stuff back in 2021, 2022, something like that. CMS made a blatant blank payment for certain organ transplants, and that just, yeah, I did a whole video. I don't want to repeat all of it, but if you want to look into it more, just look up the red market. This Indian refugee lives in a refugee camp, and the camp is known as Kidneyville because they'll sell their kidneys. They're that desperate for money. That's so sad. So when all those bastards talk about health equity and we care about disparities, you people are lying bastards. We have so many problems in this world. People should never have to feel like they have to go to these lengths. Yet the hospitals love it because it's all about money to those bastards. While they praise themselves that, oh, we've done so many transplants, it's amazing. Yeah, of course you would when you have an open border. We don't know what's happening to any of those children, or, I mean, I would imagine the children's organs would especially be wanted because healthy-wise. But it's all sick. It's the sick world we live in, but as far as the book, The Red Market, you can find this online. It's 2011 or 12. On the trail of the world's organ brokers, bone thieves, blood farmers, and child traffickers. That's why we have an open border. That's part of it. It's helped all the university hospitals do more transplants. Has anybody said that's it? Oh, I'm sure it'll come to be that's what it is. And the hospitals say, well, we didn't know. Well, don't you think you should have been wondering why it's increasing? Why it's suddenly there's an increase in them? I'm sure they'd have some stupid excuse, but I think they've all shown their colors that there's so much about money that they're too sick in their disease to ever be seen as ethical, in my opinion. And I hate saying that as a nurse. People need to realize that when your country in 2024 is doing more organ transplants, and some of them maybe don't even need to be done, you don't know. You know, that's part of the reason I don't go for these tests that they tell you to go for every, year, all these whatever tests that you're supposed to. I don't do it. It's like when my time is up, my time is up. I'm not going to go, and because there's just that part of me. It's like, yeah, but you can say anything, and when you're all about money, then you can say this is wrong with me and I have to have this done. And our automatic assumption before 2020 anyway, at least most people's, was that, well, of course I would trust the doc. They know what they're doing. They have to open me up. Yeah, I don't buy into that anymore. So I don't know that that's necessarily true. I'm not saying they're all lying. Many doctors are being led astray, but it's really time that people wake up and realize how all of these different puzzle pieces connect to the same thing. And it's all about money, and it's all about, it's abuse. It's abuse to people. We've allowed this border to be open for 4 years. And these children, so many children, it just makes you wonder, like, maybe God's angry with us. I mean, I know most of us didn't know, but how could he not be angry with us when for 4 years nobody's done anything about the border? That's a lot of innocent children that have been taken away from their families and brought here and then stuck in some state like Minnesota with God knows who and abused, or it's just and I wish I knew how to fix it. Only God can fix it.